Yes, this your brother Talib. Um, yes, I like to touch up on something, you know, in the wake of events concerning our young brother, young Pharaoh, who just recently did a documentary, about the Nation of Islam and their clear certain involvement in the assassination of Malcolm X. And, now it's quite a bit of rebuttals going out against what he said in that documentary, as well as what he said in other recent or past videos, as far as revealing, in my opinion, nothing but truth concerning the Nation of Islam. And, as far as threats, going out, people making innuendo threats and saying stuff like, what he's doing, he wouldn't be on my side of town doing this, or he wouldn't be over here, over there doing that, or saying this stuff out his mouth because he'd get murked or whatever, or hurt. My thing is this, and I've always been very emboldened about this subject when it comes to these so-called pro-black niggas. I'm just gonna call it like the ace of spades, just like it is. You know, and unfortunately, at once upon a time, I was connected to these bastards, as well as the fact that I was associating myself and calling myself even being affiliated with them at one time or another. And I know their inner workings. I know how they get down. And my thing is this, is that, the truth of the matter is that, and as we could clearly see with the history of the Nation of Islam, that they've never spent so much time and energy and effort to go out to murder a Caucasian. The same one they call the devil now. The same race or so-called race of people that they call the devil, Caucasian Europeans. But they never, put in effort to defend what they stand for against them in terms of violence, like they have with other black people, like in the case of Malcolm X, and in the case of many others other than Malcolm X that we never heard about. But it's a known fact that they've killed other black people too, who've spoken out against their platform or what they claim to believe in and stand for. And I like to point out a couple of things in this video too, is that, if y'all go back during the early 1960s, it was a brother, and he was a minister out there in Los Angeles, California, and he was murdered by the racist police out there. And Malcolm X, he was ready, to get violent with it. He was ready to hey, we got to avenge our brother's murder. And Elijah Muhammad, who was the founding leader of that organization, told everybody in that organization, including Malcolm X, to stand down. But according to your Holy Quran, as a Muslim, doesn't it tell you to fight those that fight you? It didn't give no specific skin color. It didn't give no specific race or nationality or ethnicity. It said, fight those that fight you, right? So when these crackers killed that brother back in 1962, I believe, out in LA, but the Nation of Islam reneged on, meeting the same fate, meeting them with the same fate like they met that brother with. And also during other periods of times throughout the Nation of Islam history, they did not react in the same manner violently toward the races like they did during other times against members of their organization. Now, once again, they call these same races or Caucasians devils, right? In the Holy Quran, according to the book that they say they believe in, it says deal with the devil firmly, right? So now we're looking at constant hypocrisy here, right? Because, come on. You run around here talking about the Caucasian or the white man, the so-called white man or whatever is the devil, but yet, you don't, take no initiative to attack back when they attack a member of your organization or when they attack black people, period, as of that matter. So we know for a fact that the Nation of Islam, as well as other so-called pro-black groups, even the Moorish Science Temple of America, which I'm going to get a little bit into them, the so-called Nuwaubian Nation, which I once associated or affiliated myself with. You call out the Caucasian and the races or whatever, but you ain't never did nothing to them. They went savagely like with the Nuwaubians. They went savagely with guns and raided your land down there in Georgia, put guns in your woman and kids' face, and you didn't do a damn thing. But when another black person speak out against the theology of your doctrine or your incarcerated leader, Dr. Malachi Z. York, y'all ready to take physical action against them. But y'all wasn't feeling that way when them Caucasians came in there on May of 2002 and raided that land on the same day when they busted Malachi Z. York and put him in prison for 135 years. And see, this is what I'm talking about. This is one reason I don't want nothing to do with the so-called pro-black conscious community. Y'all offer nothing. All y'all offer is rhetoric. Y'all is just as worse as the so-called Negro Christian that y'all speak out against. Y'all no different from them. Matter of fact, y'all even worse. And I've always said that the pro-black conscious community is second death right behind Christianity when it comes to black people, particularly, especially here in America. And I back that up with facts clearly. As a matter of fact, just like they say, truth don't even need support. It could stand on its own. But like I said, going back to what I'm really speaking on, just to add on to that, of what's going on with young Pharaoh, with the truth that he's put out about these suckers and their involvement in Malcolm X assassination and stuff like that, you know. Now you got even a brother who just recently made a video, you know, giving him a warning, talking about he better watch his tone and this and that and how he need to speak. Look, that man got a right to speak the way he want to speak, whether it's about the Nation of Islam or any other organization or anything else. This is America, where you are, you know, allowed to have a right to freedom of speech. You know, if y'all feel that way, then why didn't Farrakhan, as well as the Nation of Islam under him, go at them Jews that called for him to get killed back in 1985 when he first got popular, when they called for his death? Why didn't y'all go at them? So, I mean, you know, like I said before, you know, y'all can say what y'all want to say. Y'all could even rebut against what I'm saying. But all I'm saying is, speaking is just the naked truth of what this whole situation is about. But I'm going to say this, though. I'm going to send this out to you. If you do anything to Pharaoh, young Pharaoh, trust me, you think after what you did to Malcolm X, sealed the deal for your organization? Because your organization wasn't the same after Malcolm X got killed. And everybody knows that, and even the leadership of the Nation of Islam under Elijah Muhammad knew that before he died and after he died. You know, but like I said before, this would definitely be the end of your organization if you carry out any physical retribution toward that brother, young Pharaoh. And what I mean in saying what I'm saying is that your organization will lose credibility. Won't nobody have to do nothing physical back to y'all if y'all do something physical to that brother. But the credibility alone will go out the window completely because y'all are already losing thousands of followers like y'all have been doing for the past few years. Y'all losing thousands upon thousands of followers, as well as support, you know, that's been keeping y'all, the leaders like Farrakhan and those around him in his inner circle pockets fat for so long. Well, that's gonna end. If y'all do anything to young Pharaoh, I'm just sending that out there. Not as a threat, but as a clear warning. Y'all don't want to, I'm telling you. And I'm going to say this. Remember, Farrakhan and the Nation of Islam already lost favor with the black community, especially the youth among the black community after he crossed out brother Dr. Khalid Muhammad. May that brother rest in peace. You know, so that's going to even be 10 times worse in that area. If y'all do anything in calling yourselves obtaining retribution against what that brother Pharaoh is talking about, including in that recent documentary he did on the Nation of Islam. So I'm just sending this out there. I'm just putting it out there in the universe just to let it be known. I would rethink if y'all have any plans on doing anything to that brother. You know, and I'm gonna say this. like I said, I was going to speak a little bit on the Moorish Science Temple of America. You know, I have a relative, you know, one I'm not really close with, but he's a member of this organization, which was started and founded by Noble Drew Ali back in the 1920s, which was, of course, a decade before the Nation of Islam got started, which was back in the 1930s. And, this organization, has, even though it's not widely or publicly known as the Nation of Islam, but them being another so-called black Islamic sect in America, they've been known for a lot of criminal mischief in the black community, more so than what their teachings is supposed to, put out there in terms of what they teach, like uplifting fallen humanity and stuff. Well, I'm going to tell you something. Where I come from, it's a lot of them that's involved in the drug trade in the black community, from the leadership on down. And, I don't trust them no farther than I could see them. And, they've been known to also kill other black people. Matter of fact, according to history, when their own leader got assassinated, their own leader, Timothy Noble Drew Ali, those that were members of his organization also took part in his assassination. And just like how the Nation of Islam say, well, it was the government of the Caucasian devils that killed Malcolm X, well, the same thing, just like you say about that, well, it's more apparent that the Nation of Islam had something to do with Malcolm's assassination. And once again, it's just like, again, it's more apparent that the Moorish Science Temple of America has something to do with the assassination as well of their own leader, Noble Drew Ali. So I don't want to hear that. Miss me with that. And it's like this here. These organizations, once again, like I say, have a repeated history of killing their own followers or other black people, especially that oppose their doctrine or ideology. And during one of the periods of times when I was incarcerated, I did time around, of course, a lot of Nation of Islam as well as Moorish Americans. And most of the time, they were killing each other or fighting amongst each other within their own organization or groups, or even fighting each other. Very rarely, and I mean literally, very rarely, did they ever, turn the violence toward other Caucasians that was in the prison system. But usually it was among them, between them and each other. Same brother you pray next to, next minute he ready to stab you in the throat or the back, even while you praying and ain't looking. And basically, You know, it's the same on the streets. You know, it's a known fact that the Nation of Islam, brothers in the Nation of Islam still sell dope, as well as with the Moorish Americans. It's a known fact. You know, and like I said before, you know what I'm saying? Their whole history is centered around destruction and violence toward their own people, who they claim to love and who they claim to have, you know, care for or whatever, you know, who they claim to have best interests of. But yet, they ain't doing nothing but giving them, you know, providing them with destruction or self-destruction, enabling their self-destruction, or as well as helping them to destroy themselves and each other. You know, and this is what's going on in the community, while their leadership is putting on this persona, deceiving the masses of our people, like they really about uplifting our people up out of the condition that we still find ourselves in today in 2019 here in America. And mind you, these organizations I'm speaking of, some of them have all been around for almost 100 years, and it still ain't made no major difference in black people's plight in this country. So, you know, like I said, you know, to be really honest about the whole situation, you know, and the threats that's being made toward this brother, Young Pharaoh, you know, all this is going to do, if it's any attack physically on this brother, not only is this going to negatively further affect your organization as the Nation of Islam, but it's going to even divide the black community more. Because the black community is still, of course, unfortunately, divided and still have mixed feelings, of course, over the death of Malcolm X. Although his assassination was 53 years ago, you know, 3 years before I was even born, you know, but, I mean, the black community is still a scar on the black community behind that. So if you do something to this brother, that's going to even make the scar more deeper. That's going to cause the scars to become more deeper in the black community, meaning more hostility as well as even violence. Is that what you want? And I'm speaking to the leadership as well as the membership of the Nation of Islam. Is that what you want? I mean, those of us who really truly want the best for our people don't want to see that. But unfortunately, because of the hypocrites that y'all are and the charlatans that y'all are, obviously y'all don't care nothing about that. You know, and this is one reason why I'm not a part of no so-called organization, or especially an organization that's considered a part of the so-called pro-black conscious community. Because I see the fakery. And when I recognized it, I was finally able to emancipate myself from it. You know, and thankfully I did. And haven't looked back since, nor intend, nor will look back. And I would never even refer another black person to get themselves caught up in something like that either. You know, but like I said before, I mean, hey, it is what it is. You know, most of y'all talk this so-called brotherhood stuff. You know, y'all talk this crap about, you know, going to war with the beast, who y'all also refer the Caucasian as being, well as y'all call them devils and this and that. Or talking about banging on the beast, but yet you punk niggas always banging on each other or another black person that don't agree with something that got something to do with your ideology. Every time you look up somebody making a rebuttal toward your ideologies or your belief system, you ready to kill them, or you ready to bang on them or go to war with them. You know? Instead you going to war with the unquote enemy. You know, it's just a bunch of bull crap. You know, I don't, you know, usually in my videos, I don't cuss. But I have to just lay it down like it is. And for those of you that feel offended or whatever, hey, you know, I say don't watch the video. You know, because it is what it is. I don't have time for the bull crap. I don't. You know, I mean, you know, black people always talking this unity stuff. We can't even unite as biological families, let alone as a people in general. A lot of us come from broken families, including my own family, so-called family. You know, so like I said before, you know, don't bring me this stuff about brotherly love or unity or peace, because y'all not really about that. You know, and matter of fact, I'm gonna take a page out of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s book. You know, don't judge by the color of the skin, judge by the content of the character. And that's how I deal with humanity. I ain't got time for that other crap, because it's just as many blacks doing devilish things in this world and right here in America as any other group of people are doing. You know? And I'm going to tell you this. I would trust a racist farther than I could see them, because I know what they're about. Basically, I know in at least what to expect from them. But you, Negro, it got to take me 1,000 times to figure it out. To figure out where you coming from before I can even consider on possibly trusting you with anything. And unfortunately, that's how bad it's gotten with black people in this country. And don't give me that shit about the Willie Lynching syndrome and all that. You know, it's a lot of choices we have today that we haven't taken advantage of. So don't give me this crap about slavery as a constant excuse, like many of you would, especially coming from those of you in the pro-black conscious community. You know, I don't want to hear that. It's a bunch of crap. You know, and like I say, y'all basically, anything that our people have done to make ourselves look like we have any type of dignity or integrity as a people has gone out the window because of the kind of stuff that you suckers in the so-called pro-black conscious community have done and is still doing, which is hypocritical, which ain't nothing but a big farce. And like I said, y'all worse than a Negro Christian preacher. You know, like I said, I'm just calling the ace of spades like it is. You know, y'all ain't no different from them. You know, y'all swindle people out of money, thinking things gonna get better for them every time they come out they wallets and pocketbooks. You know, and then when they go broke and homeless, you don't give a damn. Long as your pocket's fat, long as you and your families is taken care of, that's all that matter. You know, always want somebody to donate to y'all social media accounts and all that. So yeah, y'all ain't no different from them Creflo Dollar, T.D. Jakes, or Eddie Bishop Long Negroes of Christianity. Y'all just a pro-black conscious version of them. You know? Y'all don't care nothing about black people. And like I said, I'm gonna make more videos about this crap. I just don't do them all the time like I used to because I have more time to do important other things. You know? But I'm just sick of this crap. But I just want to send this message out in concerns with the controversy of Young Pharaoh and, like I say, the good work he's putting out by exposing them clowns in the Nation of Islam. And with that said, peace.